Evening, everybody. For YouTube, this is the England vs Andorra aftermatch reaction show, and we've got our FTB host Blue Moon Ian in the building, the host of the Sunday Prem Round Up every Sunday at 9 p.m. Best match of the day show there is around. You doing all right this evening?
I've managed to Gemma, I've managed to totally colour coordinate with you. Turquoise, green background, blue top.
Yes.
I'm showing my respect.
We're so in sync. We're so in sync. It's the FTB. It's the FTB family vibe.
Yeah.
And then we've got Amundi from the Man.
Oh no! Wait! You give Ian an intro like that. I want an intro like Ian's.
On the show tonight, we have Cookie with her sidekick, Amundi Juma from the Man United Agenda.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Thank
He's
you.
looking chilled out there with his shirt open, feeling the sunshine today. The best adverts for FTB is always from Amundi. Promos. Yes, I love them. And finally in the corner, one of my favorites, Mr. Staten Beard, Mr. B, from the ARMOURY TV.
I'm from the where? I'm from the where?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, the Man U Agenda.
Right.
I'm really sorry. Oh gosh. Okay. Bring it in. You know me already. You know I get flustered. Oh gosh. Okay. So England versus Andorra. We did a pre-match yesterday. Me, Amundi, and Sam Spurs for life. And you know, we were saying it's kind of annoying. People get pissed off when there's internationals during the Premier League, especially 3 games in when we've just had the Euros. You know, we had our bellies full of international. So today, after the Hungary game, and we, you know, a nice win, all we wanted to see today was something a bit different. We didn't want to see Harry Kane starting. We didn't want to see Maguire. We didn't want to see all the usual suspects in their usual position. Let's see something different. And to be honest, Gareth's a good boy because he listened. I think he tuned into the show because we literally said we want to see Bamford starting. What's the point in bringing him if you're not going to give him a go? And we said we just want to see the young bench players having a go, looking forward into the future when, you know, eventually Kane's getting a bit old, Henderson's getting, but I know he played today, but we want to see some of these young ones, see how they can play, let them enjoy a nice home game at Wembley, no pressure, pretty easy team, no disrespect to Andorra. So yeah, it was nice to see something a bit different. I'm going to start with Ian. How did you feel about this whole new lineup, this little experiment that he kind of pulled off today?
Well, I made some notes.
Let's
Firstly, I remember how frustrated, Gemma, you were when Liverpool had that great chance against Chelsea when they went to 10 men and they put all 10 men behind the ball, and you were really frustrated and you were crying out because there wasn't creativity to break the defense down. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I think if I learned some lessons today, and the first lesson is that when you're playing a tight defense, and to be fair to Andorra, they were well organised. There was the lad with the dyed blonde hair in the centre of the defence who was pushing them forward all the time, holding the line in a really disciplined lines. And unless you have those magicians to unlock the door, the Grealish, the Mounts, you can do all the running you want. And so that was lesson 1 for me. The second lesson was that Gareth Southgate, if we're going to win the World Cup, if we're going to win the Euros ever, you have to have a ruthless streak. And I haven't seen it. You know, it frustrated me when we had that big chance against Italy in the final. It didn't have to go to penalties. If he'd played a magician like Grealish from the start, a door unlocker, we could have won that. And that bothers me. And okay, he's a nice guy. Let's give all the boys a game. Let's play Trippier on the left, even though he ain't got no left foot, and let's play Alexander-Arnold just to keep him happy and keep the Scousers off his back. He doesn't want it, you know. He doesn't want his hubcaps next and all that. So I better play him on the right. You know what I mean?
So I did hear a rumor before the Euros when Trent was eventually picked. Obviously, then he was injured and came back out. There was a lot of rumors that Gareth wanted to play him in midfield. I don't think it was just to keep people happy. I think he wanted to try that position for him. Clearly, Mr. B. I'm going to just finish and let him laugh, you know. It didn't work, did it? It really didn't work. He was one of the
very top end of the game, at the very greatest level of the game, the very top echelons, it will never work because you have to be so tried and tested in those specific positions on the world stage. It isn't a time to play a player out of position because you've got to be at the very pinnacle of your game, and that doesn't happen on a trial. Oh, you know, what's going to happen next? Is he going to try Jordan Henderson at centre forward or Harry Kane in goal? I mean, forget it. You've got to be specialist. I think
Harry's trying to get in goal some games, isn't he?
You've got to be specialist. You've got to know those positions inside out, back to front. So, no, I think it's weak management.
It was a game where he could experiment, probably because it was an easy game. He probably thought, "Oh, let's see how this works." But the whole team was kind of a bit of an experiment, so it was all a bit.
Look, can I just say something, please? Because I'm not going to let this slide. No. I'm glad Trent's been exposed as a right back. He's a right back. He's not a centre midfielder. I agree.
I've never pushed him.
It might not have been you, but I've heard a lot of play him in midfield. So I'm glad that against an easy team has now been put to bed. If he can't get in at right back, he can't get in the squad. That's the way that it should be. Mm-hmm. You know, you look at Bellingham, we say, all right, it was a weakened team. Bellingham today, that's a Rolls Royce of a central midfielder right there at that age. He's got everything.
All the Premier League scouts should be fired for that one. How on earth did we let him slip through?
We've been linked with him for like 2 seasons now, and today on Twitter you'll probably notice all the Scousers are going crazy over this. And
I wouldn't know that. I don't follow any Scousers on Twitter.
My mate at Birmingham has been saying for 2 years before he was transferred, he's the greatest player he's ever seen, and he's my age. Me. You know, he saw Trevor Francis at Birmingham, and he still said he was the greatest player he's ever seen.
Yeah, he's just got that natural intelligence, hasn't he? And drive.
Gifted, very gifted.
Didn't stop all game. Did you see when he took them into the corner and he wrestled his way out? I think there was like 4 of them. He got the ball out. I think Trippier was like, "Pass it to me," and he's like, "No, mate, I got this. He just carried on. I fully enjoyed. I think Bellingham and Saka today were standout players.
Above Lingard.
Well, Lingard in patches, I think. I don't think consistently for the whole game necessarily. I think Bellingham, the whole time he was on, he stood out. I think Saka pretty much the whole time as well. I think Lingard had his little pockets of magic.
I just think what an absolute waste at Man United. Greenwood and Lingard. What an absolute waste of 2 talented players. When Lingard hangs up his boots and looks back in his career and talks to his children about all those reasons, about why he didn't play in the Premier League, because United wanted to sell more shirts on the back of those 2 old codgers they've signed up. You know, great, sell some shirts, but poor old Lingard, when he's telling his grandchildren about his experience at Old Trafford, it's going to be shit. I mean,
where can Lingard start at Old Trafford, Ian? I'm going to ask you a question.
He's never going to start.
And that's my point. So it's Lingard's lack of it's got nothing to do with Man United. It's Lingard's lack of what's the word I'm looking for?
Ambition.
That's the word. Lack of ambition.
Or is it consistency?
He's not ambition. He's not ambition. He's at the top club already. I don't. What he's trying to say.
He's not.
He might not be playing, but that's his choice. He wants to stay there and fight for his place. That's ambition, to want to stay and prove himself. You know,
what, in the Coca-Cola Cup.
In the wind.
Well, he's playing for England. For starters, he's playing for England. I thought we would have sold him. He didn't want to go. He's obviously still there. He's going to fight for a place if that's what it is. Give him until January, and if it doesn't work out to an end, maybe he can go. But he's still a quality player. The price wasn't right. Brucey Forsyth voice. It wasn't right for him to go. We wouldn't accept any less. And when you look at him, he's an international player. He scores goals. He's a threat. So 20, 30 million, we didn't accept it. So good luck to him. I think it's quite ambitious of him to stay at Man United and fight for his place.
I think he would have done better where he was out on loan. He was thriving. Yeah. He was enjoying not having that pressure of the big club and fighting for his spot. He was kind of like the star man. I think he was flourishing and brimming with confidence and enjoying that. And I think give it to Christmas, and that's going to...
Well, one thing's for sure, he knows he's ahead of Donny van der Beek because he came on ahead of Donny van der Beek.
Yeah, he got a 3-minute sub on ahead of him. He's like, yeah,
he was benefiting from the coaching of a decent manager as well at West Ham.
Yeah, well, fair play. Moyes has done well. Like Moyes has done well since he went to Sociedad, didn't he, in Spain and learned a few things. He's come back. He's doing really well with a limited squad, limited finances at West Ham. But yeah, he knows Moyes, doesn't he, from his time at Man United? Yeah. His 9 months at Man United. Yeah, they know each other.
I'm just going to flash at some comments a minute. The Blue Podcast. Good evening and welcome. Thanks for joining in with the Blue Hearts. Is this your friend, Ian?
Well, it's you and me tonight. We're both blue.
Well, yeah, but I don't represent the blue when it comes to football. It's just neutral for FTB this evening. Nah. It's blue for England today. Mr.
Gemma's a closet City fan.
Or Birmingham City fan.
But yeah, Bristol City.
What's going on? Bristol City's red as well.
Yeah, it's true.
Mr. Silver Fox, very happy birthday goal for the star boy Bukayo Saka.
And there's other people's birthday as well, isn't there? A couple other star boys' birthdays.
Bamford, you said, was it?
And
Bamford. We said it was 28.
Your son?
What?
Yeah, and Gemma's son.
God.
Yeah, my son is 13 today, but we're talking about England here. Yeah, my son Romeo, 13 today.
We're talking about star boys.
He is he want to be a star boy. He want to be a star boy. And if you
happy birthday from the Manchester United agenda.
Yeah, big up Romero, Romeo. Big up. Happy birthday.
He'll love that. Yeah, he'll love that. Adam giving us the eyes. I think that was my slip up. How are we all after that training match? I mean, this is it. It was basically a training match, wasn't it? It was like a little experiment. Let's see what happens and where. Messi Lingard, what a baller.
Hi Solo.
Evening Solo.
We're not going to see him. We're not going to see him for another 3 months. So goodbye, Jesse. Bye. See you in 3 months. Have a nice time.
See him on Wednesday against Poland, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he should get a little spot then.
I'm not sure we
will. No, he won't. Mount will play.
Bye, Jesse. Goodbye.
He'll get a sub on maybe at the end. You know, if it's a comfortable lead, he'll get a little time to shine. Yeah, I know, Errol. Yeah, I'm not as bad as Solo, am I, for making mistakes? Yeah,
that's the worst.
It's a lot of pressure, you know.
I wonder if Bamford will get another England cap.
Never, no.
Not yet. No.
I don't think he did enough. Do you think he did enough today, Ian? Really? Do you think he did enough to?
I don't think he's an England player. He's a journeyman who's had one good season. You know, I was joking beforehand. He's 28 years old. And
I didn't realize he was so old.
Mr. B,
28 is probably the number of clubs that he's been out on loan at. You know, he's been at loads of clubs. You know, he's the same age as Harry Kane, and Harry Kane has what, 60 caps?
I'd rather think Danny Ings personally.
He's not exceptional at any one thing. Even today, the defender was holding him up. I thought, all right, you'll be big and strong. You have to hold it up. He was getting not bullied, but not exceptional. No exceptional pace. You know, not great touch. It's just average, in my opinion. And he's still.
He's got that awkward crouch kind of build as well, and a little bit, but not as big. But
he's not even a giant of a player. But everyone says
no, it's the build, you know. But
it's a shame
he's too old to integrate now, you know.
Look,
I'd rather have seen Danny.
The bottom line is this: you get an opportunity against Andorra, and you could have scored a hat trick, and you would still be on the scene. But after today, he missed a couple of chances, fluffed one over the bar, a couple of things, didn't do anything impressive. So I don't think he'd be back.
No.
I don't. I think We need to take these opportunities.
He actually enjoyed.
We've got to look around. We've got to look around for tomorrow's players. And I thought,
exactly.
Well,
at least we've seen it now, and he's not
it. It was a waste of time putting Trippier on the left. We learnt nothing. A waste of time putting Trent out of position. We learnt nothing. A waste of time picking Bamford. We learnt nothing. We learnt nothing out of those positions because Southgate is too nice a guy. We should have taken a punt on a very young forward, brought him on to play up front and understudy and learn from the England squad and the cane. You know, like Bellingham's 17, 18. We need to find the equivalent. We need to take a punt.
Yeah.
And bring on a centre forward.
Greenwood.
We'll get a look in. And I said this, he will just bide his time, and he will. Solo says TA started his career as a winger, so what Gareth Southgate is trying can work. I mean, this has been a big topic, and it split Scousers. I think we were going to do a show on it on Thursday on Kop Talk, because it's been spoke about a lot. Even Gary Lineker tweeting about it, saying about his passing. On our pre-show, Sam Spurs for Life, we were talking about, and we're saying, you know, how Beckham made those passes from midfield. Like, he has that potential, but I think it might be too late now. He's cemented in his role and his position. Can he transition across into that? I don't think that was the time or place. I was interested. I was curious to see it, but it just didn't work. If that will come in time at some point in his career, you know, when he's late 20s, mid 20s, I don't know. But clearly today,
when he's 35 and playing for Tranmere, I think it will be okay. It'll be the right time.
Mr. B, you weren't impressed, were you, either?
If you looked at the charity game, there was a charity game of football on yesterday. What do they call it? The
Soccer Aid.
Soccer Aid. And in midfield, you had Roberto Carlos playing in midfield and Ever on the left wing. So, like Ian says, when he does get to like retirement age, maybe he can fill in there and do a good job. But as for now, I agree with Mr. B. He deserves to stay at right back. He performs really well there. Even though the commentators were still saying, oh, he pushes up so much, there's always space in behind. There's always going to be that tag on him that he can't defend correctly. But I've got no issue with him. He's a great right back. He gives you so much.
Yeah, he's a modern day
player.
He can defend. He can. He just doesn't often have to for Liverpool.
It takes.
And when he does, he gets exposed.
Years and years to perfect your skills in a position. Years to perfect your skills in a position. You can't just say, "Oh, go forward, lad." It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work. It's an insult. It's almost an insult to the craft of the top of the game. You know, if you're down in, you know, a few divisions down, maybe. But if you're trying to be at the pinnacle of world football, you can't play out of position. It takes years of practice to get to the pinnacle of world football in every position.
I mean, I can remember there was a conversation Ian Wright was having, and he said he hated being played on the wing, like in the Mane role. He said he hated it, having to track back. He said it used to really, really wind him up, and he hated it. He said always watching Shearer in the middle, and he was like, they want to pass to him, man. Like I would have been there getting the ball. So I think when there's an England team and you're trying to slot people in different positions, sometimes it might work, sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes the player themselves just don't like it, and maybe he just didn't like it, didn't feel comfortable. I noticed second half he kind of pushed him back out a bit, didn't they? And I think James
moved him to right back. He actually moved him to right back second half. Yeah, but
it kind of just messed up his flow. I think it wasn't his day today.
Yeah, I don't think he did him any favors at all.
No, he's a Scouser. Surely he's the best everywhere. Adam, shut up. Solo 7, he's a Leicester City fan.
Adam will be okay because Jesse Lingard will be available to do his garden and do some of his housework for a few months. And then he'll be coming back to England.
Solo saying about
Alex's lawn.
Sorry, Solo saying about Blue Podcast. Sorry, Blue Podcast. They're a Leicester City fan. So evening, great team, great well-run club. I got a lot of respect for Leicester and their owners.
Still going to finish outside the top 4 this season.
Well, yeah, but you know they do well with what they have, and the way they're run, I think, is a very good vibe atmosphere.
As long as they don't do too well in their next game.
Who they got then? City?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
City are at Leicester.
Come on, Leicester.
Vardy. Would you have liked to see Vardy doing this last Euros World Cup
The thing is, why Vardy left is because he didn't play. What's the point? You go away for 2 weeks instead of being close to your home, close to your family, knowing that Harry Kane is going to be playing every game. I'm not saying Vardy's better than Harry Kane, but Vardy deserves to be playing if he's called up. He was getting no time at all. So I think he did the right thing to retire. Look at him. All right, last season he wasn't great for Leicester. Ian Nacho showed him up, but I think this season he's got his head down, and I think he'll be back. But I think he's benefited, and Leicester have benefited from the fact that he's no longer in the England squad.
Yeah, I agree. It upset me though.
There is a player who should be there. There's a player who should be playing week in, week out as England's next centre forward, and that's Mason, and that's Greenwood at United. And it deeply saddens me that he'll hardly get a game. And yet he should be England's next centre forward.
Can I say something? Were you disappointed when Foden didn't get a game?
I was for a while. Yeah, I was. My brother was going even more berserk than me. But, you look at him last year at 21, and he played something like 70% of Man City's games. Greenwood is now 20, is he?
Just 19, not even 20 yet, still 19.
But he's got to get some games in.
He's getting games though. You're talking like he doesn't get any games.
Mr. B, we had this discussion. So people said he scored in every game. Like it's been 3 games, and we had this discussion to say Southgate's very stubborn. We think changing who he brings in.
Yeah, I think he's still pissed off.
I think at the end of this season, or by Christmas, he won't be able to deny him a place.
He just was available, wasn't he, to play?
Yeah, he played the other day against Stoke.
Why not take Greenwood? What the hell are you taking Bamford for? Why?
Going back to that point, Jem said something about Ian Wright not getting that position. It happened with Alan Shearer. It happens now with Harry Kane. These golden boys are always going to be in front of these guys. We missed out on Fowler, Andy Cole. Andy Cole was playing Champions League football, and Shearer was playing for Blackburn. And he still couldn't get in the England squad. I mean, this is how the England setup is. Whether it's they say Southgate is a yes man, and this is the policy. We've got to play our golden boy. So I'm fed up with this. It really drives me crazy. Ian Wright, Robbie Fowler, Les Ferdinand, what's his name, Andy Cole, and now we've got Watkins. The guy from Everton, they're not going to get games because Harry Kane is always going to be seen as the guy. And I've seen Harry Kane and a wicked chance to score today. If that was someone else, I'll drop him. But Harry Kane, how much opportunity does he need?
Harry Kane is undoubtedly our best centre forward. I have no shadow of a doubt. But what I want to see is Kane gets injuries. I want to see his development talent. And the next talent
is games though where he's not effective. And this is what hurts me, because there's certain games where Vardy would be so much more effective.
That's another one.
Games, against the Italians.
Imagine against the Italians, Vardy being a nuisance up front, buzzing around. When against the Italians, they're laughing because you got Kane there doing his little quarter-pace run, and anyone can keep up with him. And he's not going to do anything spectacular.
I agree with you.
Easy to handle.
Vardy would have riled them right up.
Yeah. But the time's gone. Time's gone now. We're missing out again.
2 years ago, you're right.
But we need last more season he was
poor. He was poor last season. What happens is his game is totally about sitting on the last defender's shoulder, and I think he doesn't have quite that electric pace that he had before to do it. He lost it a season ago. We should have been blooding Greenwood or Ollie Watkins, not Bamford.
I agree. But it's just going back to the England always having the golden boys, and he pulled out because he was just like, do you know what? What's the point? Whereas back at that time, if he was getting games, he would have made an impact. It
was mentioned the other day about Rooney. They carried Rooney, an injured Rooney, to the tournament. And we'd rather have Rooney injured than give up someone else an opportunity. I do remember when against Portugal when Rooney got injured, and when he was on 2004, it was they brought on Darius Vassell, and I'm thinking, well, what's he doing in the squad? I mean, there's so many great talented players out there that just don't get the opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you think as a 2-year little slot, so some of them their time's passed by the time the next round comes up as well.
But Bamford, it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time.
Goalkeeper were changed today. I was really happy about that, even though he didn't really have anything to do. Wasn't tested. We didn't learn anything. I mean, he's good at rolling the ball out to Henderson from the box, and that was about it, really. It was a shame, but it was nice to see someone different on the pitch.
Can I ask you guys something? If I know there was a lot of people who weren't interested in actually watching the game.
Yeah.
If they had played the normal players, I don't think we would have watched the game. I think we were more. I think the fact that he did change it up a bit, sort of maybe got people watching it. Because let's be honest, if Kane, and we all know Kane, and they're going to be playing against Poland. I understand that Poland are a better team, but the fact that he did mix it up. So I mean, he changed. What did he change? 11 players.
I fully respect him for that. Fully respect him for that. And that was what we wanted.
I'm happy with what he did. Yeah, I'm happy with what he did. But who stood out today against Andorra? Really? I mean, maybe we'll do the scores at the end or whatever. But you know, there wasn't much.
We didn't learn.
I'd have to say it was Bellingham, but we already know what he can do in some respects. We already know that, but yeah, I was all eyes on him. He just didn't stop all game. It showed such that drive that some players just lack.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's a Lampard, Gerrard, Brian Robson engine sort of player. He's that good, I reckon. He's
a proper central midfielder. He is an old school central midfielder. He does everything. Yeah. There's not one thing he does, there's nothing that I've seen that he does bad. Everything he seems to be at the moment is a 7.5 or an 8, whether it's defensively, whether it's, you said, Gems, you said earlier on where he was in the corner and he held off the 3 players. He's picking up and spraying balls.
Favorite moment that was.
I say Pogba-esque, but he's got more. He's doing it when players are pressuring him. Pogba needs to do it with time. He's actually doing it when players are pressured. So, yeah, that's a big. That is, big player.
I think he's the next 70-80 million pound player, and it'll only take a year or so. But I want to put another point to everybody. If Arsenal have a really shocking season, will Saka stay? Because he's too good for Arsenal. If that's the case, he is another absolute diamond where a big club will come along to Arsenal and say, here's 80 million. We want
Man City, yeah.
Can I answer that?
His 20th birthday today.
Monday.
Let me answer that. So we're just talking about Bellingham and talking about what's his mindset like. So he knew if he goes to, like we were saying earlier, where are all the Premiership scouts? But he knew if he went to a Premiership club, they say, he's too young, he's not ready yet. He's gone out to Dortmund and started all last season, started every game this season and proven himself at 18 years old. And that's why he's getting his recognition now. He's met the criteria. Oh, he's playing well, we better play him. But if he went to a big club or a decent club in England from Birmingham last season or whatever, then where would he be? He'd probably be sitting on the bench. He's not ready. How do they know he's not ready? He is ready. Going on to Saka, that's the mindset of Bellingham. Going on to Saka,
he wouldn't be in the England squad either.
Going on to Saka, he loved the club. He's been there since he used to go to Beetham or Coston School at the bottom of your road.
His mum lives down the road. His mum still around the corner, 5 minutes down the road.
So he's a local boy. West London talent. But anyway, he's got that mentality. He loves Arsenal Football Club. Why would he leave so young? He's still at a good club. They can still develop, and he's showing a lot of passion for the club and a good mentality as well. So his abilities already got him into the Euros, got him recognised as one of the best young players in Europe. So he's got to stay for at least another 3-4 years and give it an opportunity, give the club an opportunity to meet his standards, his high standards. He is a great player, a great young talent. But it's about the mentality of young players. And that's what I'm saying. So you see Bellingham in one sense, playing for Birmingham, like Sancho as well, dismissing the Premiership law where they might not get run. Like look what happened to Foden. He didn't really get a great run a game. He's sort of filtered in, and he smashed it. And now they can get sold for big money. And Saka as well knows stay at Arsenal. It's a smart thing to do. and wait your time. Just keep impressing, and then you might say you're missing out on European football, but you're playing for England. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win situation, and everyone loves it at the moment as well. No one will say a bad word there.
He stays at Arsenal. He's a star, and he's loved, and he's like the star man. He could go to, say, Man City, and he'll just be a squad player. You know, sometimes you've got to know what side of, you know, we were talking about Lingard, you know, if he'd have stayed at West Ham, he'd have been the star man, the star player, guaranteed game time.
Much as I don't like it, I want to disagree with him on Mondi on this one, in that if Bellingham had been bought by Everton, Wolves, West Ham, Crystal Palace, you know, you're not going to tell me that a player of his ability wouldn't have shone in any of those teams. Like Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka was his age when United paid 50 million for him from Crystal Palace. So there is a whole. We could have kept him in the Premier League. There's at least a dozen. I mean, and God, he would have played for Newcastle and they would have loved him. But there's a dozen clubs where Bellingham could have shone. He didn't have to go to Germany. So I disagree with that one. In terms of Saka, hey, Foxy, if he was, I remember the days when Man City used to produce the odd talented player, whether it was Barnes or whoever it may be. I'm not talking John Barnes, I'm talking before that time. And when City were rubbish, whenever they produced a good player, whenever they got produced a good player, he used to get bought at that stage. And all I'm saying, I'm hoping, you know, because once Man City were Arsenal, you know, just at the moment. But I'm hoping for Arsenal he will. But I don't think that those big 5 or 6 clubs will allow Saka to stay at Arsenal if this continues, if that club continues to be poor.
My views on that would be they need to they need to at least get Europa football this season. They need to at least get into that that situation. If not, transfer market next summer is going to be a nightmare again. You know, 2 seasons with no European football, it's not an attractive prospect. They would need to really improve their scouting system and get some real little hidden gems bring in. They need a new manager.
No, they don't. Keep Arteta.
But I agree. He could well be the next £100 million player.
I mean, maybe next 2 seasons, if there's no European football this season and then next season, it's going to be a case of they're going to have to sell him because, you know, how can they not? It's like you said, it's going to be a Grealish situation. But I just can't see Arsenal dropping that low. Like, I know we joke and banter about it, but it's Arsenal. I just think
I can.
It's really going to get that. Mr. B is enjoying it. I find it a bit sad. You know, back in the day, it was like Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool. We were the 3. You know, that was the 3. And now it's top 6. And I'm not even
Wait. What day are you talking about?
Leicester kind of took over.
But, you know, things change. We've seen it all over the years. It's taken Leeds. You know, you forget that Leeds United dominated English football for 10 years in the 1970s, 80s.
I remember Newcastle with Shearer just always being up in the mix.
You know? 20 years since Leeds were back in the First Division or Premier League. They've never been in the Premier League. So, you know, Arsenal do.
Is this another shift?
I hope they don't. But they've got to watch it.
Leeds have been in the Premiership. David O'Leary's side.
But that was 20 years ago when Batty.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. I thought you meant from the 70s till thing. Yeah.
No. That was Howard Wilkinson when he won the championship, but that was 20 years ago.
That wasn't the Premiership. That was just a year before, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then O'Leary took it on from there. So I think it's been 20 years, I think.
Just to throw out, Ping, because you saying about Bellingham going to Wolves and all these kind of players, but Wolves just got sent Morgan Gibbs on loan. And Morgan Gibbs is a great young talent, but he just doesn't get opportunities there. So this is what I'm saying about the Premiership. They think, it's your typecast. What have you done? What's your CV? All right, you're young. We can keep you on the bench. And they don't get the opportunity, you know? It's only recently, like proper teams like Man United, who since the 1930s have always had a youth team player in the squad. That was a stat. If you go and look on Twitter now on Man United agenda page, that was thrown out by Solo, by the way. But I always mention that as well. But and then you got like clubs like Arsenal who are developing young players as well and get to play them. This is the difference. I think with the influx of foreign players since the early 90s, you were not getting, like, it used to be Scottish players. We used to get the best young Scottish players to come down and play. And look at all the talent they had then. Look at the Liverpool side. They're still filled up with British players, you know? Yeah, so I don't think these players are getting the opportunity they deserve to really harness their skills at the top level in the Premiership anymore. So this is what I think with the mindset of Bellingham, that's what he sees starting at Birmingham. You know, he actually was playing Championship football for a whole year, and then everyone realised he was good, but there was always that question mark. All right, we sign him, but will he play? Who were they saying this the other day about Canavinga? Oh, if we sign him, will he play for Man United? You know, will he be a first-team starter? Damn right he should be. He's that talented. So it's just it's the thing about football. There's no consistency. If you want to be best, you have to have a good mindset. And this is where agents do come in handy, because they can advise players to do the right thing. What we see with Jadon Sancho and Bellingham, that's the right thing. It's proven without. It's not about a money thing. It's about getting your worth. You know.
But it's interesting that there's some fine young talent that's been loaned out there in the Premier League. Yeah. You've got Conor Gallagher for Chelsea playing at Crystal Palace. Yeah. You've got Billy playing out at Norwich. Billy Gilmore at Norwich. And I like Billy. Who's the other young lad out there? I think it's a Liverpool player, isn't it?
No, it's the Man United fullback. Who's a fullback who went there? Williams went there.
Yeah, but isn't there a Liverpool player? There's someone else out there on loan in another one of those sort of Premier League players. Like that, like the Billy Gilmore and Conor Gallagher. It'll come to me in a minute.
I know
at Norwich, you mean?
I know you've loaned someone to Blackburn.
Yeah, but there's clubs like that. That's the bit I challenge Amondi. There's great clubs like that who could do everything for that young talent. Bellingham could have gone to any of those clubs. And to Foxy, I feel for you, and I think it is a change of management you need at Arsenal. And it's what a shame you didn't appoint Rafa Benitez, because he would have been the guy to have developed all that young talent, etc. Otherwise, somehow you have to break the bank and persuade Brendan Rodgers to go there.
Rafa Benitez is a great manager. I'll give you that. Yeah,
Rafa's king.
Yeah, Rafa's top drawer.
So Silver Fox said Arsenal have. I know I'm getting a bit lost in there. Mr. Silver Fox saying Arsenal have a young squad. They'll evolve together, hopefully with a better manager. Also, our current manager is killing us on the pitch right now. So I think you just got to stick with him this season now. I think you've got to stick with him and see what happens. I think you've made some good signings that might not make a huge difference now, but down the line.
Isn't it great? I mean, for Arsenal fans, wouldn't it be great to see their young players coming through? They're one of our own. How many young? You got Saka. You got the Emil Smith Rowe. You've got Ben White, for example. He's young. All these young players coming through, they will start to feel. If they start playing well and developing, it's not about the manager. It's a project they're on, or the process they call it. Stick with it. They're trying something different. It's a different route.
Monday, please. Don't take them for a bunch of idiots. In 3 years' time, even when if Arteta stays after Christmas, Arsenal are in real big trouble. But let's be honest, Saka is a full England international at 19 years old.
Yeah.
Every tournament he goes away, he's got the Champions League players talking in his ear, just like they did with Grealish.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to keep not winning nothing and being a star boy at Arsenal? In 3 years' time, he's going to be gone. Harry Kane, Saka's agent ain't going to say the only reason Harry Kane is there is because his brother's an idiot. That's the only reason Harry Kane is still there. His brother is an arse.
If you're the advisor for Saka, what would you be saying to him right now then?
Keep playing at Arsenal to learn your trade.
Yeah.
If you want, when you're ready to start winning trophies, tell me and I'll get you the move.
Okay.
That's what I expect as an agent to be telling Saka. Let's be honest.
Would you let him see out the season?
Of course, because he could probably start 3 seasons.
Okay.
Because he's playing. He's not ready. If he's going to leave, if you want to leave a club, you want to leave to be able to play. You don't want to leave to be a squad player.
Yeah, this
Grealish
is
has left.
this summer or next summer. He's a squad player.
He's a squad player.
Grealish
at Man City
at least
is a starter now.
At
Grealish
25.
at Man City is he's 25, but if you look at Grealish, he probably could have got. So when did Tottenham look at Grealish for 25 billion?
Years ago, about
he's always had that level of ability, that ceiling that people have been able to see.
Yeah.
At the moment, Saka's got a ceiling that is really, really hard to tie down. I think he can go as high as he wants, and I'm not. It's not a diss for
big as well, isn't it? You know,
but also
he's
going to look at players of his age like Haaland. Haaland will, end up earning 300-400 grand a week. Yeah, at the same age. He's the same age. He's 20. So if Saka, if I don't know, Real Madrid come along or Paris Saint-Germain or any of our top 5 or top 6 and say, look, hey, we'll pay you 250 grand a week, Mr.
European
Saka,
football, isn't it?
And you can get European football. Yeah. He's going. I'm telling
Arsenal
you now.
have to get They have to get Europa this season. They have to.
And we've seen teams full of.
He still needs to be careful where he goes because he's still learning. And like we said, he could go to another team, become a squad player, and kind of lose that spark, or it will take him longer to get to that higher level where he just might not reach it. But where he is now, he's loved. He's the star man. So he does need to be careful, but. Mr. Silver Fox, this project is going to see us in the championship. Stop it. It might do them young players some good. We like to loan our youngsters out to the championship sides.
But that would be, for Arsenal, that would be a disaster with the cost of the stadium, with the cost of some of those older jokers in that team. Could you imagine going down with Aubameyang and Lacazette and Pepe with the wages of those players? The young players will get
gone, won't they? They'll be gone.
But they won't, because no one's going to pay their wages. Nobody will pay their wages if they go down.
Are we realistically saying they're going to get relegated? Is that realistic?
No. So this is Silver Fox. I can't see it. I really can't see it. I think they've brought these new young players in, and they've not really had. They've had a tough start.
Well, it's good for England. It's good for England because we're seeing Saka, based on him playing top flight football, getting to the semi-finals of the Europa League last season for Arsenal, a top club. And the same with why I was mentioning the other guy, because I can get who's the other guy, number 10 for them, Emil Smith-Rowe. He's another player. He will be playing week in, week out for them, near enough, and he'll be in the spotlight. Might get an England cap by the end of the year.
Yeah,
Martinelli, Tierney. They're very good players. I hope, because I have a soft spot for Arsenal, I hope it doesn't happen and they get a European place. But at the moment, I just can't see it. I cannot see it.
I can't see Arsenal winning trophy for a few years. I'm sorry, Silver Fox. It's not just about.
But thank you, Arsenal, for giving us Saka.
Yeah. So we're going to round it up now. Last comment from TTM Sports. This is James, who's at Wembley today, soaking up the atmosphere. He might send us a video that we can flash up on our next show. England won 4-0, but let's be honest, it was a scratch team, and we performed as a scratch team. Yeah, I mean, I said in one of our groups, it seems some of the players seem to be playing a little bit selfishly. Everyone seems like they wanted a goal, and
even Bellingham.
Yeah. Some people didn't really seem like they want to pass. They want to try and this is my time to prove it. And, it ends up being a detriment to the team game. And
Are we being harsh here?
The ball and tried to turn. There was a pass on there, but he wanted to score, didn't he?
Yeah.
There was a few.
Are we being harsh here? I mean, let's be honest. The players who played today, we all know are fringe players. They won the game 4-0. There was a few good individual performances.
They bring on Kane, Grealish and Mount.
Okay.
At a time when the team was tiring.
Yeah. Okay.
Kane was back for the penalty. I
hear that. Mount won the
1-0 till it changed.
Okay, fair enough.
But I did see little sparks, you know, like I said to Zach Amundi, I think Trent put a ball into Bellingham.
Yeah, offside.
Offside, but the ball was like, yes, Trent, this is what you do, and he was like far back. There were some little sparks of chemistry that you could see, but yeah, it just seemed like this is my time. I need to show Gareth what I can do. And not necessarily thinking about, you know, if I play
just to add, I think Albania beat Hungary today as well.
Now.
And Andorra, they set up to defend, and it is difficult. Yeah. Even though they might be part-timers, whatever, it's quite difficult to break teams down. This is what I always say. It's harder to play through teams who is rigid and strong. So you need a system. It's not about the players. You need a system to break these teams down eventually. Someone was saying earlier about having creative players on there or whatever, but you still need that drilled system in the strategy to unlock these teams, crosses across the 6-yard box, that sort of thing, which Bamford would have eaten up, I reckon, if he'd had that sort of service.
Yeah, look, he was making some good runs. I think Ian Wright was saying halftime. I think it was Ian Wright saying he's making some good little runs at the right times and the right ways. You could see what he was trying to do, but maybe it was just the link-up play. Everyone was just, you know, it wasn't as good. So we just a couple more comments, and then we're going to wrap up now because I need to go and get out a birthday cake for my son. TTM Sports says James Bamford poor. Reece James was excellent. Okay, yeah, we didn't really mention Reece James, to be honest, but great if you don't make a mistake, then we don't. Yeah, sometimes you just do your job and you don't get noticed because you're just doing your job. Saka was good. Yeah, totally agree. Saka on the ball. It's just when he's running at the defenders, you can see them panicking. They don't know what to do, and he can.
It's interesting as well. He's playing on the left-hand side today because usually when he's playing as an inside forward, he usually cuts in, and it's easier for him to open it up. But on his left, he still had that ability just to quick feet. You know, I thought, he played well.
Yeah. All right then. So we're going to be back. England are playing Wednesday versus Poland. We will be back next week. We'll do a quick pre-match conversation. There's not a lot to say because just don't know who's going to go out, but we'll be back probably Tuesday with a pre-match, and Wednesday after the game we'll have an after-match reaction, and then we can get back to the real nitty-gritty of the Premier League.
Is Lewandowski playing on Wednesday? I guess he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
Hey, Lewandowski against Harry Maguire. Who fancies it?
Yeah.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow to Studs Up on the Man United Agenda.
Yep. Studs Up, Man U Agenda. Tune into that tomorrow. And then just parting comment. If you know James, my Kop Talk panelist, he said he felt like storming the pitch.
Do it.
It's an inside joke. You need to watch the DJ deadline stream hour. I think it was the 9 o'clock hour with me and these guys. It was great fun. All right then, guys. So I'm going to shut it all down now, and we will be back. So Man U Agenda tomorrow with Studs Up with Amundi. Mr. B, you on there?
Of course, every Monday.
Okay, we got a little something else.
7 o'clock, innit?
7 o'clock. Yeah, we are going to be on. What's the channel called?
Oh, Football United TV. Talking about grassroots football.
Oh, good.
So we're going to be on Football United. TV.
Can I just say? I know he's not going to say it, but congratulations to Mr. B being promoted to first team coach.
Oh, get off, man.
Yes, stay tuned.
Thank you.
Bring out the fire on
them. Sorry, and just to add as well, we were doing a phone call the other day, and he was like on the touchline. Oh my God, Sean Dice, eat your heart out. He was going for it, out. He was, you see how his voice is always husky? He was giving them hell. You know, he pulled up a player, like said, hold on. Like, delayed our phone call. Hold on a minute. And you can hear in the background.
Why are you ringing him on his phone? Yeah. You should have hung up.
Real inspiring. You can tell he's
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
So you're going to get some love for that. All right. Is that it now, Monday, yeah?
I'm done. Sorry.
That was 5. Let me just say. All right. We'll be back Wednesday. I'm disappearing in the dark. It's getting past evening time now. We'll be back Wednesday or Tuesday with the pre-match and then Wednesday with the after-match.
Are you two in the same yard?
We can't afford any